What's going on, guys? Victor here with a brand new video, and obviously I'm watching the fight, so you guys can clearly see that on my TV in the background. I have it on pause because I want to talk about one of the fighters that has just recently fought today on this fight card, Thiago Moises, the 25-year-old fighting out of Brazil. He is a lightweight, and he's currently on a 3-fight win streak. Obviously, a little bit of a background on him is that he started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the age of 8, so he's obviously a very high-level black belt, which is why a lot of guys don't want to go to the ground with him. Also, he made his UFC debut in 2018 off of Dana White's Contender Series Brazil. Not the regular one here in the United States, but Dana White's Contender Series Brazil. He won his fight, made his official UFC debut in 2018 against Beneil Dariush. Out of all these guys, the hot, streaking Beneil Dariush in 2018 was his UFC debut. He obviously lost that by unanimous decision, but he's been on fire ever since. He's currently on a 3-fight win streak against some very tough competition. Michael Johnson, he defeated him via submission on the second round. Then you also have Bobby Green, which was a back and forth, very close fight. He was able to edge out Bobby Green, even though I believe that Bobby won one myself. But he was able to get that W, 2 wins in a row. And tonight, his performance was absolutely beautiful against Alex Hernandez. He started out a little bit slow, just kind of feeling out Hernandez out a little bit. And then as that second and third round went, he started pouring on the pressure. It was mostly a kickboxing match the whole entire time. I never barely even went to the floor at all. I don't believe it ever did. And both these guys just went at it. It's just you had the leg kicks to the body, the body kicks, the head kicks. You had the calf kicks by Moises, and Moises is just headhunting the whole entire time. The combinations by Moises was just absolutely beautiful, and trust me, he connected plenty of times with that head kick on Alexander Hernandez, but Hernandez just has a solid chin, and he wasn't going down. Everything that Hernandez was throwing at Moises came back with that counter right hook, which is absolutely money the whole entire time. And he just kept on going body head with the kicks, with the leg kicks, and it was just absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely fluent, and he was never flustered throughout the whole entire fight against Alexander Hernandez. He was extremely calm, and every single time that Hernandez came into his line of sight, into his guard, he just always came back with a counter right hook or a leg kick. And trust me, his calf kicks were definitely hurting Hernandez because Hernandez came out in the very low kind of karate stance because he was just waiting for those takedowns from Moises. But Moises is a very well-developed mixed martial artist. He's well-rounded on the feet, on the ground, against the fence with the dirty boxing, again in the clinch with the underhooks and the overhooks, and he trains out a Brazilian top team. Apparently he's been with that camp for a very, very long time. Obviously, ATT is the best mixed martial arts gym in the whole entire world. They've got everything that you can even think of. They've got strength coaches, conditioning coaches, they have nutritionists, they have basically financial advisors and stuff like that to help you out with your money, which is what I believe. They might not have that, but I believe that they have pretty much everything you can possibly think of. Striking coaches, BJJ coaches, Muay Thai coaches, you name it, the whole entire deal. And it's a mega gym, it's a mega camp, it's gigantic. But other than that, you've got to have the skills to pay the bills, and that's exactly what Thiago Moises has. And he wasn't worried about taking it down to the ground because his striking is pretty elite as it is. Obviously, with that last fight that he had against Bobby Green, which was basically left and right, and I believe that Bobby Green won that fight. I didn't think he was going to come in here and put on that striking clinic that he did against Alexander Hernandez, but he did. And he was able to win the fight via unanimous decision. I believe that he won all 3 rounds. And I don't really think it was close whatsoever. Even though Alexander Hernandez stayed in there, he was definitely picking his shots. Some of his shots did get through with the right hooks, with the head kicks, which were basically blocked the majority of the time. But Thiago, like I said, cool, calm, collected as a cucumber. He had 20/20 vision. He had tunnel vision. He was able to see everything that Hernandez was able to throw. And then by the time that the third round came, he was in total control. He was hitting him with the nice combinations with the head kicks, the calf kicks, the body kicks. He was just basically putting everything together so nicely, and he poured the pressure on. He kept on backing Hernandez up against the cage, and not against the cage, but all around the octagon as well. Basically talking, he was trash talking the majority of that third round, telling him, let's go, give me everything you got. Come on, I know this isn't what you have. This isn't the fight that I was expecting. I thought I was going to get a bigger test in this, but all in all, Thiago Moises was able to win that fight pretty fairly. It was, like I said, it was a back and forth scrap. Both these fighters were locked and loaded, trying to go for that knockout, but both these guys have great chins, and Thiago Moises is most likely going to get a top 15 fighter after his debut tonight, and he's definitely a fighter to look after. He's one of the younger fighters on this roster, 25 years young, and he is in that very stacked UFC lightweight division. Obviously, when you go into the UFC and face a killer such as Beneil Dariush for your debut and lose, that's obviously a quality loss, so obviously not a bad one at all, and I'm glad he's been able to get on this winning streak. I kind of doubted him a little bit, and I believe that he's one of these young stars that are on the rise, and he's going to get a ranked opponent for his next fight. He went up to Dana White, told him, give me the 50 G's because I'm trying to buy a house. You probably won't be buying a house with, beating someone such as Alexander Hernandez, who isn't even ranked in the top 15, but you will be able to buy a house by beating a couple ranked guys in that top 15, and eventually in the top 10 as well. So Thiago Moises, ladies and gentlemen, going to be in that top 15 very, very soon, going to be facing a ranked opponent very, very soon. Like I said, he's 25 years old. He's only getting better. And one thing that I really loved about his fight today was just the movement. The head movement was very key. The body movement, the footwork was amazing. You barely ever saw him get tripped up whatsoever. And he did slip a little bit inside the octagon. That's just because of the perspiration of the two fighters and because of the hot climate that Vegas has to offer in general. So things obviously do get hot and heavy sometimes. And the floor of the octagon, the mat, does tend to get a little bit moisturized because of the hot environment, making things a little bit slippery at times. So he did slip up a little bit, but that's not his fault. That's the fault of the octagon itself. But other than that, his movement was very key. And for me, he didn't really get hit that much. Most of the damage was worn by Hernandez. You could obviously see that at the very end of the fight. His face, one half of his face was swollen red. And if you look at Thiago, he barely really had a mark on him. So he's probably going to look at Dana or the matchmakers and basically ask them for a turnaround fight as fast as possible because he's trying to make some big waves in this 2021 year. Obviously, this is the last week of February. We're going to be going into March, and then after March, we're going to be done with that first half of. After April is over with, we'll be done. I'm sorry. After March is over, we'll be done with that first quarter of 2021. So obviously this year is moving around pretty fast, and Thiago's going to want to make a name for himself, and he's going to want to go for that belt in very, very near future. But he's still a young guy, and I'd like to see him get a couple more fights before he faces anyone in that top 5 of the rankings or that top 6. He's got a great chin on him. I haven't seen him get knocked out yet, nor will I see him get knocked out in the future. He's got a very, very bright future, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'm going to come out with another one very, very soon. Got my eyes on some of the fights right now. I have it on pause. I'm going to press play again. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Later.